Hi, my name is Julia Silge and I work at Posit on the team building Positron, our new next generation data science IDE. And today in this screencast, I need to do a release of one of my R packages. And so in this screencast, I'm going to walk through how I use Positron for some R package development management kind of task, and then step through how I do a new release to CRAN of a package. I've been using Positron for my R package work for a while now, and I think it's a really good fit for that kind of work. So I'm doing this live as I'm going to actually do a release of the package during the screencast. So let's see how it goes.
All right, let's do this live. I'm going to do like I said before, I'm going to walk through how I do a release for an R package using Positron. So far, what I've done, I've got my R package open here as a workspace in Positron. And the first thing I did was that I created an issue to track the release, the work that is done for the release. So this package, like I mentioned before, it's called Butcher, and it's a tidy models package that I maintain. And the goal of it is that it reduces the size of model objects. So when models are trained, we'll talk about this as well. So when models are trained, often they have information in them that is actually not needed for prediction. And what Butcher does is it goes in and it finds only the things that you need to keep in the model in order to make a prediction here. And so it can release that, and then you see that the object here is smaller. So that's a little bit just about what Butcher and is and what it does. The important thing here is it's an R package, and I am going to need to do some work to get it ready. So if we go over here, since the last time I did a release, roughly a year ago, there are two changes here. And the particular reason I'm doing a release for this package right now is that this R package maintainer, we had support for it, but this R package maintainer doesn't want it to be that anymore, and they want that to be off of CRAN. So I'm like, well, okay, for sure, we totally can do that, and then we can, but I need to do a release to CRAN so that then this person can move on with their plans. Just to give you an idea of how this package is organized, it provides methods like weigh and ax for lots of different kinds of models. And so you'll see, and it's organized so that like the Ranger model, the Ranger model methods are in a little file where we just have Ranger model things, and the GLM model objects are here, and there's a sets of methods that we use for them, and that's how this all goes. Okay, so that's just a little bit about what it does. So let's see what we need to do. I use this this function here. I called it and I said, I'm just going to do a patch. So this is just going to be 0.35, and then it opened this URL for me right here. Now I just go through this release here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to pull. Now the Git interface here in Positron is might be different if you're coming from our studio, but I just went and pulled there. You also could do it from the console if you like here. So like here is my terminal. Let's wait for it to watch up. Okay, so now here I could do git pull, and it's going to say, yep, we've got everything there. So there's some ways you can git pull in Positron. So that is done. Now let me go and see what is going on with my CRAN package. Okay, so this one is, my friend DimRed here. So I think... so everything is okay except for dim red, and this is on our release. Now that is, no, so dim red is not available on this particular platform, so I think I'm going to be okay. I think that's not related to me, but we'll keep an eye on that as we go through. Okay, so I don't have any problems with my CRAN checks, so I can say that is fine. Now it is time for me to look at my news. So I'll just check here. I tend to like to use past tense here, and I've got, everything looks pretty okay. I think I don't need to make any changes there. The next thing I'm going to do is check my URLs. So this is something that CRAN will definitely ping you for. So I'm going to check it, and I fortunately have dealt with that all in the past, so I do not have anything more that I need to do here. This package that I have has a little bit of an unusual situation when it comes to the README. So the README here, if you'll notice here, I've got a note for myself. So Butcher's point is this memory profiling, and so it actually does not play nicely with the way DevTools uses call rsafe. Normally, I would just do this, but if I do this, I'm gonna run into this error that I get right here, and so this helps me remember that I actually should not be doing this way. So instead, I'm gonna say render, R markdown render, and I'm going to render my README one more time, like so. And okay, so I have to build this package first. So let me go show you one of the things that I like to do, or ways that I like to use Positron. So Positron has this is called the command palette. Let me just tell you how I did that again. So on a Mac, it's Command-Shift-P. It brings up this command palette that has lots of different things. So I can look for files. I can run various commands. And there are lots of commands that are about R packages. So let me install the package and restart R. So it will go over here to my terminal. It's going to do the local install using pack. This is how it works right now. And so it is going to go through, see what does it need to do. It's going to package it up. It's building it, and then it restarts R, and now I've done library butcher. So now I should be able to render my README here. And so it will go through. Let's see how it's doing. Okay, great. It did create a preview here, which if you do DevTools build README, it will do it a little bit better. And the changes, I'm just looking in the Git source control. What are the changes? So the changes are just some white space changes here from probably a change in knitter or something since the last time I did this. And now this, I do not want to check this in. I can look at the HTML, which is not so useful. I can also right click here, and I can view it. I can, well, not here, but here I can view it in the Finder. So it might be good. I can just do it here. Open in Viewer right here. And so this shows me a preview of my HTML, which all looks correct. I actually do not want to check that file into GitHub. I don't ever check these in. So I'm going to discard it here in the Git pane, which says, hey, you're deleting that. And I'm like, yep, that's great. That's what I want to do. Okay, so that's an example of, in most packages, I just would have done this, but I had to do a few other steps there because of some specifics around this package. So it's good to be able to use these checklists, but also customize them when it is needed. All right, now it is time for me to check my package one more time. So I am going to, before I do the whole check, I'm just going to show you how I run the tests. So there are a couple of different ways that you can run tests in Positron. So, you can run tests interactively, of course. So maybe let me go look and just take a look at the test files here. So let's say if I could do something like run filter just the GLM tests. So I can do like that, and it will just run my GLM and GLMnet tests here. But there's also support for some pretty nice UI when it comes to running tests for a package. So if I go, I'm going to show you how I run the R package tests in the Test Explorer. So if I hit this, it is pops up this UI that's here. right here, this little test tube is the testing UI, and it is running through all the tests and showing me a pretty nice UI here. I like this quite a lot, actually, that shows me my tests. So these tests, there's a lot, and they're all in pretty good shape, right? It's green, 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 green. You'll notice this one is gray because it turns out this is a file that's entirely commented out. So a little embarrassing to show you that, but it's good for me to be able to see this in this UI, so that I can understand what's going on. Let's look at the tests for GLM. I can see all the individual tests, and I can like run them individually, like it's going to run just that test. I also can look at the test. So if I like double click on one of these, it shows me the tests and shows me how they are how they're running. So let me show you what it would look like if it is if it was failing. So let me do this and let me like run it again. And it is going to say, oh, that it's not a butchered potato, it is a butchered GLM. So it's like, this is not right. And so if I could, so there are different ways I can run this. I can run this a file at a time, and it says, that one is not right. I can run it individually, or of course I can run the whole thing. And if I want to clear it, I say, hey, start over from scratch. Something is not right. And then I can, for example, run all the tests again through this UI. And so it will go through, it's going to run all of them. It's going to show that one that is failing right now. And just like, look how satisfying this is. I just love it. Bam, bam, bam. Pretty fun way to interact with your tests, which is nice. Okay, so it finished. So let me go back here, and now I can rerun this individual test. I could rerun this file of tests. I could, of course, rerun the tests as a whole. So my tests are good. So at least locally, my tests are all passing, which is great. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run check. So let me copy this and then come over here, and I will start this. There is a check in the command palette. There's a way to check the package as well, but I am running this here because I want to make sure I am doing it with exactly the right arguments that I need to do it before I do my submission. So this might take a little bit. I'll maybe see if I can vamp here for a moment as this is running and talk about the next few things I'm going to do. So this is reminding me that, I need to change my version number so that it doesn't have the 9,000 there at the end. And it's gonna keep going, and I'll just talk about what I'm gonna do after this. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check it on RDevel on WinBuilder. So I'm going to do that next. So that's going to be the next thing that I do once this is done. And that one does actually take a little bit of time to run. So I might pause at that point the video. But let's see if I can get through my local check first, which does take a minute for it to run through all the checks it needs to do. So now it's going to run all my tests again here, but in the not obviously using the UI, just running the tests. I think we're getting close to the end, so we'll maybe wait just a little bit longer here. There we go. Okay, great. We got to the end. So the note that I got is about the version number, which I know I already knew I need to do. And one of my checklist items will address that. So this is as expected. The next thing that I'm going to do is so that is good and fine. And that one is ready. The next thing I'm going to do is check on WinBuilder. So I'm checking on RDevel on Windows using WinBuilder. So I'm gonna do I want it to email my results to my email? I definitely do. And then I am going to So it's going to build it up one more time, and then it's going to tell me, yeah, it's going to take 15 or 30 minutes for this to run. So I am going to, I will come back to that later. So I'm not going to check that one off yet. What I will expect to see when I do check that off is that I will expect to see this kind of thing. Like I would only expect to see this message here. I would expect everything else to come back clean. The next thing I need to do, so I'm not going to check that one off because I have to wait for the email to come back and see what it says. The next thing after that is for me to check my reverse dependencies. So the issue knew that I work at Posit, and this is a Tidy Models package, and so there's a support for cloud check. I think I had a little, I'll be honest, I had a little trouble with it the last time I did it. So I think I'm going to use regular reverse dependency check. So let me rev dev check our package. I think I need to install it because I think that I did. I don't think I have not installed this. So I'm going to say dev tools install GitHub, and I'm going to say r lib rev dep check like this. So this is a package that is not in CRAN. It is just on, let's see, I will do, sure, let's do them all. Let's update my packages here. So for whatever came out new since yesterday. All right, and so what I'm going to do is I am going to do rev dep check, and maybe I'll do num worker. I'll try 4. I might try 2 or 4. I'll see if 4 works. So let me do. I'm gonna restart R. I used a keyboard shortcut to do that, but you also can restart R from here or from the command palette. And so I'm going to say library rev dep check like this, and then I am going to try this. Shall I try it with 4? I can't actually remember. I think this will work. Let me kick it off. Why didn't it? Oh, I guess I need to reset. Let me try this. Okay, there it goes. So let me show you. So it is installing the CRAN version of Butcher, my local version of Butcher, and it's checking it on all the dependencies that we have. So if we go over here and I look at, Butcher, my package here. So what I'm looking at is these guys. So what imports and suggests Butcher, I need to make sure that my new version of my package works with these packages that depend on me. So that is what I'm doing right now. And so this takes, this one I am gonna have to pause because this is going to take a minute here. Let me make this go away, and let me show you where this information gets stored. So this information gets stored in the reverse dependency folder, and I will look here, README, problems, failures. Looks like the last time I did this, there were no failures. So we'll see what happens, what comes up here. Like I said, I'm doing this live. I cannot predict to you what is going to happen here. So we're going to compare these two versions, and we will, it's going to install all of these guys from CRAN and run those packages check with both versions here. So this for sure is going to take a moment. So I am going to pause the video. Well, let's see if there's anything else I can do. I'll keep going. And see how long it takes. So this one I'm waiting for an email. This one I'm waiting for my reverse dependencies to run here, and I'm just doing it locally. And now let's see what the next thing is, CRAN comments. So let me go to my CRAN comments file, CRAN comments. So the only thing in my CRAN comments file is my reverse dependency check. So I need this to finish for that. So I will wait that. And then the next thing is to call this done. Okay, so I'm now in a holding pattern, a waiting pattern. So I'm going to pause the video and I'll come back when my reverse dependency checks are over and see how things are going. All right. I'm back. So you can see here for the 8 packages that this package depends on, it checked it with the new and the old versions and then saw how it went. And so it said all 8 were okay, which is good. Honestly, if there had been a broken one, I would have had to scrap the screencast, because what you have to do if one is broken is that you have to go and figure out why, and you have to say, okay, did what I do break this other package and all that kind of thing. So fortunately, for the purpose of this screencast, everything was fine. So it wrote these into this folder, this folder right here, and here is the README that it generated a little thing saying when was the last time we ran this and what was it like and that kind of thing. So I could check that in if I so choose. So that means that this one is done. The CRAN MD is the same. So that one is also done. That one is also done. Let me see and check my email here. I'm not going to show you that, but let me check my email here. All right, I still haven't gotten the email. So I am now waiting on this right here. And I really am doing this while I'm recording this screencast. So I'm going to pause again and I'll wait until I get this email. And then I will be able to show you what it looks like. And I can see whether things look okay or not for me at this point. I will maybe, as a reminder, again, show you that this GitHub action is failing. It is failing for a very specific reason. If I were to show you, it passes. See how it passes? This is the last time I use this. It passes on everything except for RDevel. And because this is a package that deals with measuring memory, there's this weird thing that is happening with it on RDevel, on GitHub Actions, but it's been that way for months and months and months, and it actually seems fine on WinBuilder, and you will notice that my notes, it's also fine on RDevel when CRAN checks it here. So let's see, Devel, see, it's fine on Devel here. So I think it's just like a GitHub action problem, not an actually RDevel problem. But the email that comes back will tell me that. So once again, let me pause, and then we will come back when I can show you the email I get from CRAN that is about this item here on the to-do list. All right, I'm back. And I got the email. Here it is. So it's this email that comes to you from WinBuilder. And if I will open this link here, it has the information about the check. And so I can look at the out, and we can see this same note about who I am and that I need I haven't bumped the version number yet. So that is the only problem. Everything else is fine. And so this is on RDevel, so I think I'm good to go. I think Butcher in some ways is a little bit of a unique package, and so you notice the thing I had to do something slightly different about the README, having GitHub Actions issues because of its unique. It is a unique and special snowflake. So I think I'm good to go here. Okay, so I did this. Now I could push right now. I'll tell you what I do. If I am in a situation where I want to run the GitHub Actions one more time, I will make a branch, push it up, run the GitHub Actions, then merge in that branch after I do the release. In this case, if you'll notice, the only things I have changed so far are the README had some. This is the README in the real README, some just white space changes, and then the reverse dependency check README. Those are all the only things that have changed. So I'm not going to make a whole branch just to run my GitHub Actions on that. That is not I don't think a good use of my time here. So I'm actually going to push, actually after it was accepted. So imagine this actually being down here after it's accepted. So the next thing I need to do is I need to change the versions here. And I am going to come here and I'm going to, oops, let me move my window back a smidge. Okay, so I'm going to run this function, which what it is going to do, it's like, hey, you haven't committed everything. Do you want to proceed? Yes, I definitely do. And is it okay to commitment? Absolutely not. I do not want it to commit it for me. I don't tell people I work with, but I don't like it when it commits things for me. Absolutely not. I do not want it to commit it for me. So let's see what has happened now. It has updated the version, which is the thing that the check was changing about. And then notice it also updated the version here in my news. So I think that is good to go. And so that's done. And it's time. The momentous occasion has come. It is time for me to actually submit this here. And so I'm going to do this. I'm going to say, is that my email address? Yes. So it's going to build it up and submit it. And then it's going to pop me over. It's going to pop me over. Am I ready to submit? I am definitely ready. I am 100% definitely ready. So it's going to go and now it's ready. So now I have to go over to my email. Let me just pull this slightly off screen so that I can get to the email for you to see. So here's what the email looks like right here. It's like, hey, you've submitted it. To confirm, what I need to do is click this link here, and I have read the CRAN policies. I have checked it, so that's what WinBuilder did. I've done that. I have fixed all the problems shown on the package fix chain, which I don't believe I have any. I think that note is a spurious one. And so now I can upload it here. And so now I have done it. Now if I go back to the checklist, I have now submitted it. I have approved the email. And so now I need to wait for CRAN. Since this is a package that has no big problems on my page, like it doesn't have problems. It's not a new package. I would expect this to come back pretty soon. So maybe I'll check the time, and then once again, I'm going to pause the recording, and I will tell you and come back once it is accepted and show you how I do these last couple things. Okay, I have gotten all my emails from CRAN now, so you can tell from these timestamps. I submitted it about 2:30 this afternoon. About 4:40, I got this message about that it was processed and pending an automated reverse dependency check, and then a little bit after that, another sort of 10 minutes after that, I got this email that is accepted. So we did it. So if I go back to my checklist, I can say that it is accepted at CRAN, which is great. And so at this point, I now want to push that it's accepted to CRAN and then do this GitHub release. So I'm going to go back over here and look at let me get back to my real news file here. So let's look here. So I'm going to check in the description, the updated news file, the README that I rendered, and then the new reverse dependency check. So, and I'm gonna call this version version 0.3.5 on CRAN. So this is going to be a commit to my main branch here. I could have done this on a like a release branch and merged it in, but there are no real changes here, so I'm going to just do this way. Okay, so I'm gonna commit, and then I need to push. So I can do that. There's various ways to do that. This is commit. There's pull, push here. I can go to my terminal and go back here, and I can say, so if I say do git status here, it's like your branch is ahead of main by one commit. I can get commish, and this is something that tells me when I did my CRAN submission. I'm not going to check that in. So let me do git push here. And then I am going to do this thing right here, use GitHub release. And so I am going to, that's from R here. So I'm going to say make a GitHub release. And so it made one here. And so if I want to, let me copy this and let me paste it in here so we can see, whoops, that is not what I meant to do, like this. There we go. So here is the release. Then it did all the nice automated getting stuff from my news file about what is happening, showed the contribution by this person here. And you can see so notice it's running the GitHub actions on my push that I did. And my new release showed up here after the other releases I've done there. So this is going to pass on everything but our devel, like I explained before, because of this particular issue that I have here in this package. So that's good. So I think, let's see how this goes. So these are all running. I think the next thing that I will do is I will do this last thing on the checklist, but I'm going to wait. So I did the GitHub release. And the last thing to do is to use dev version, which is to bump the description and the news back so that it's ready for the next time I make a change. I don't like to do push equals true. I don't like for it to push anything on my behalf. So I am going to set this up, and then I probably will wait for the GitHub actions to finish. That's not that important here, but let me show you what this will do now. So it bumped my description of my news file. Is it okay to commit them? No, absolutely not. I do not want you committing anything for me. Use this. And so here, now this is bumped so that it's ready the next time that I go ahead and do that. So I am going to let this just sit until these are done here. So once again, I will pause the video, waiting for GitHub Actions to check, and then we will do the very last step. All right, so my push with the new version that got published to CRAN, it has now finished running its GitHub Actions. It did unfortunately fail for the same reason that it was failing before, but I know about that. Would like to deal with that eventually, but we'll do that someday. And now I'm to the last step. So I have run use dev version, which increased bumped to development version in the news and the description. And then I am ready there to go. And so now I will, I'll stage both of those changes. And then I'm going to say bump to development version. And then I'm actually going to close. I'm going to say closes, what was this? So this is 283. So I'm going to say closes 283, like that. And it tells me this, because then I will have finished my release. So I'm going to commit here. I can push to main with this button right here. And I say, okay, go ahead and do that for me. And so now if I go back over here, this is closed now because of that push that I just did. And it has kicked off another round of GitHub Actions. So this is going to have the same result as the one that I just had. So I'll expect almost everything to pass, with the exception of my little problem that I'm having on GitHub Actions on RDevel. And so with that, we have done a release of the Butcher package.
Okay. We successfully did a new release of the Butcher R package to CRAN during this screencast. The Butcher package does have a few unique things about it. Maybe it wasn't the absolute best example, but it was literally the one I needed to do today. So it's done. We walked through, hopefully, so that you can see what kind of things can you do with R packages in Positron. and then talk through what are the kind of steps that one needs to do in order to do an updated release of our package. So I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you next time.